Leo, Radiant One, today, I need you to hear this clearly. A divine wealth transfer has been approved on your behalf, and it is unlike anything your family could ever imagine. This isn't a prediction. It's a spiritual announcement. The abundance that's been building behind the scenes is about to make its entrance, and it will shift everything you thought you knew about timing, identity, and destiny. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were born for more? Like deep inside, there's always been a voice saying, I wasn't meant for the ordinary? That voice has never lied to you. It's been patiently waiting for this exact moment. Because what's coming isn't just financial increase, it's a repositioning of who you are in the story of your bloodline. And the universe is making it very, very public. The truth is, you haven't been struggling because you were forgotten. You've been hidden because you were being refined. You haven't been denied, just divinely delayed. But now, the vault has opened. The approval has been signed in realms your eyes can't see, but your soul can already feel. And this transfer? It is not a loan from man. It's a release from the divine. This message found you for a reason. You didn't stumble across this video by accident. Your soul aligned with this frequency long before your mind caught up. There is no randomness here. What you're feeling, this pull to stay, to listen, to lean in, is your higher self recognizing the sound of truth. Leo, you are not just receiving a blessing. You are becoming a steward of wealth designed to liberate others. And your family? They won't know what hit them. Not at first. But soon, they'll witness what heaven had in mind when it chose you to carry this legacy. So take a deep breath and listen to the beat of your own becoming. This is not about proving anything to anyone. This is about finally seeing what God has been orchestrating in silence. And if even one part of this resonates with you, if your spirit is stirred even slightly, then I invite you to confirm your connection. Leave a comment below with the words, I am ready for divine wealth. Because when you speak it, you activate it. Let me take a moment to express something from the depths of my heart. Your presence here, every view, every comment, every moment of stillness you share with this space is not only seen, it is cherished. With each like and each word you contribute, you're not just supporting a channel. You're becoming part of something sacred. You're weaving your own thread into the evolving energy of eternal mindfulness. And trust me when I say this, you'll want to stay with me until the very end of this video, because what the universe is revealing is not only rare, it is prophetic. So now, tell me, how part of your spirit guided you here today? What energy were you holding when you pressed play? I'm listening. The universe is listening. And your next chapter is already unfolding. There is a moment in every soul's journey when what has been quietly forming in the shadows steps into the light, not with a whisper, but with a force that cannot be denied. For Leo, that moment has arrived. What was once hidden, tempered, restrained is now breaking open with unapologetic radiance. You are not only being invited to shine, you are being summoned to reclaim what has always belonged to you, the throne of your own becoming. In astrology, Leo is ruled by the sun, the center of our solar system and the symbolic heart of consciousness. Unlike the moon, which reflects, or Saturn, which restricts, the sun emits. It creates. It reveals truth through presence. So when a Leo enters a season where the light is no longer blocked by clouds of doubt, delay, or fear, what happens is not a subtle shift. It is a full return. You don't just become visible again. You become unmistakable. The energy of this chapter can be likened to a harvest that didn't bloom early because it was growing roots so deep, they would never be shaken. Imagine an ember beneath ash, quiet but alive. The kind of fire that doesn't burn out but waits for breath, for space, for timing. And now, Leo, that ember is no longer content to wait. It is expanding, igniting, transforming into a sun of its own. From the inside out, your light is commanding to be known. This is not about ambition or applause. It's about alignment. When the soul aligns with its natural radiance, there is no need for striving. The way a flower blooms without forcing, or the way dawn arrives without asking for permission, your expansion is the result of divine timing meeting inner readiness. And this readiness didn't come easily. It came through nights of waiting, through questions you never voiced, through emotional endurance that no one else witnessed. In the tarot, the Sun card represents joy, clarity, and the radiant expression of truth. It speaks of a time when masks fall away and what's real is finally safe to be seen. Paired with judgment, it deepens into something more than joy. It becomes purpose remembered. Judgment doesn't come to punish, it comes to wake us up. To remind us of what we agreed to carry before we were even born. And now, you are remembering. There's a sacred teaching that says when the fruit is ripe, it falls. Not before. Not after. And this season, this energetic time, in just your ripening. You do not need to chase validation or earn the spotlight. Your essence itself is the light. Your truth, your experiences, your journey through both fire and stillness, all of it is the sunlight breaking through the clouds. And if part of you feels unsure about being fully seen, that's okay. You're not alone in that. Even the brightest stars in the sky were once part of collapsing galaxies. But just like them, your compression created gravity. And gravity pulls purpose toward it. So take a breath and know this: nothing in your story has been wasted. Every moment of dimming was protection, not punishment. And now that the season has shifted, the flame you once kept hidden out of survival is becoming the beacon that guides others home. You were never meant to ask for permission to shine. You were simply meant to remember that the permission was always yours. The crown was never taken, it was simply waiting for you to grow into it. When something arrives in your life that is too big, too unexpected, and too perfectly timed to explain logically, it often triggers confusion, not just in others, but sometimes in you. And Leo, the abundance that's making its way into your reality right now is one of those things. It's not just money. It's not a random windfall or a lucky break. It's a release that has been cosmically assigned to you, and yes, it's going to look unbelievable from the outside. Because no one in your family has ever seen anything like this before. The kind of wealth that's entering your field isn't just financial. It's energetic. It's legacy altering. It's something that has been held in escrow by the universe, waiting for the one who would be spiritually and emotionally mature enough to carry it. And that one is you. There's a reason this didn't happen before. The timing is sacred. The magnitude of it demands readiness, and now your frequency is aligned with the vibration of sustained abundance. Not sudden wealth that overwhelms or vanishes, but wealth that roots. Wealth that heals lineage. Wealth that redefines identity. Your family might question it. They might wonder if it's real, or if you've simply become lucky overnight. But Leo, what's happening to you is not luck, it's alignment. This is what it looks like when someone finally tunes into the frequency they were always meant to vibrate on. You've done the inner work. You've sat in the silence. You've questioned your worth and walked forward anyway. You've trusted the unseen when the seen gave you every reason to doubt. And now the unseen is about to make itself undeniably visible through you. And yes, their disbelief may sting at first. But don't take it personally. They aren't doubting you, they're struggling to understand how someone from the same story, the same bloodline, the same limitations, could be living such a different reality. You are the outlier because you are the alchemist. The one who turned years of emotional endurance into spiritual currency. The one who broke a pattern by believing in something no one else could see. According to numerology, the number 8 symbolizes power, success, infinite cycles, and karmic fulfillment. It's not just a symbol of money, it's a sign of energetic balance, of spiritual authority being translated into tangible results. You are stepping into the 8. You are becoming the bridge between unseen blessings and seen results. And that bridge doesn't ask for approval from those watching it be built. It simply holds steady until others are ready to walk across it. There's a quiet kind of power in not needing to explain your blessings. When you stop over-explaining, you stop leaking energy. You begin to understand that not everything must be justified, especially when it's guided. And this moment in your life is fully guided. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are here to embody it. To let your radiance speak. To let your stability reveal the years you spent building yourself from the inside out. What your family sees as sudden is, in truth, the delayed flowering of a seed that's been nurtured in private. And the more you stay grounded, the more they will feel it, not just see it. This is how belief spreads, not through words, but through lived example. Your elevation is not a separation, it's a call. A call for what's possible. A call that says, yes, even in this family, wealth is real. Even from this story, wholeness is possible. Let them question. Let them wonder. And then let them watch. Because what's coming for you is not a performance. It's a prophecy fulfilled. There's something deeply liberating about realizing that what's unfolding in your life isn't the result of chance, it's the result of choosing alignment over fear, consistency over chaos, and purpose over passivity. Leo, this is not about being lucky. This is not a lottery ticket you stumbled into by accident. What you're experiencing, or about to experience, is the outcome of an ancient agreement between your soul and the universal intelligence that governs timing. You were appointed, not awarded. And the difference matters. When we speak of wealth arriving, or breakthrough manifesting, the human mind often wants to categorize it as luck. It's an easy way to explain what can't be measured. But luck implies randomness. Appointment implies preparation. It implies intention. And what you are walking into now, this opportunity, this abundance, this visible shift, isn't the product of luck. It's the maturing of seeds you planted long before this life, nurtured with your choices in this one, and now harvested through your courage to remain open in the face of delay. You didn't win a prize. You remembered a role. Like someone who's been holding a key without realizing they've had access all along, you are simply unlocking what was always meant for you. And the reason it's opening now is not because you begged harder, but because you finally matched the frequency of what was behind that door. You became the person who could receive it, not just temporarily, but sustainably. In the language of tarot, the Hierophant appears when sacred knowledge is ready to be embodied. It's not knowledge you just read or hear, it's what you become through lived experience. And the Empress follows when that wisdom is applied with love, with creativity, with generative force. She doesn't chase, she creates. She doesn't prove, she produces. Together, these archetypes remind you that abundance is not about grabbing more, it's about becoming more. Becoming stable enough to hold what flows. Becoming wise enough to use it in service of something beyond yourself. From a practical perspective, this is the moment where your relationship with money must shift from reaction to responsibility. Not because you're being tested, but because the flow coming your way is meant to do more than decorate your life, it's meant to empower it. This means adopting a mindset not of scarcity or survival, but of stewardship. You're not here to consume the resources. You're here to direct them, grow them, multiply them in ways that support your soul's blueprint and benefit others. One of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make now is moving from the belief, I need money so I can feel safe, to, money is a tool that helps me build safety for myself and for others. Rewriting your inner narrative about money, turning it from a source of stress into a source of structure, is not just financial advice. It's energetic recalibration. It's reclaiming your role as the architect, not the victim, of your financial story. There's a teaching that says, when water collects in a broken vessel, it leaks. But when the vessel is whole, it can nourish many. You are that vessel now, and your integrity, emotional, spiritual, and practical, is what determines not whether abundance comes, but how long it stays and how far it spreads. So no, this is not luck. This is a long-awaited fulfillment. This is what it looks like when destiny catches up to your discipline, and when divine timing meets a soul finally ready to say yes, not just to receiving, but to carrying, guiding, and giving. Sometimes the most frustrating part of the journey isn't the lack itself, it's the waiting. It's the long, quiet stretch where everything inside you says you're meant for more, but your outer reality hasn't caught up yet. Leo, this moment in your story is not a punishment. It is preparation. You're not poor. You're not behind. You are simply standing in the sacred pause between readiness and release. The treasure is not missing. It's being timed. From the astrological perspective, Leo is ruled by the sun, a force of steady illumination. The sun doesn't rise early just because we ask it to. It rises when the earth has rotated enough to meet it. The same principle applies to this season of your life. You've been orbiting toward this breakthrough, and even though it hasn't arrived on your timeline, it is still moving faithfully toward you. What feels like a delay is often divine alignment, allowing all pieces to fall into place so that when your blessing arrives, it can stay. The Hanged Man in the tarot teaches us the power of surrender. He hangs upside down not in defeat, but in trust. He sees life from a different angle. He waits not because he's stuck, but because he's being shown something deeper. This card paired with the Ace of Pentacles reveals that your financial breakthrough is not being withheld. It's being refined. The Ace, after all, is the seed of wealth, not the tree. And that seed must rest in the soil long enough to build roots that can sustain growth when the surface begins to change. Many people mistake this waiting season as rejection. They internalize the stillness as failure. But this is where the healing begins. You are not being denied. You are being given time to strengthen your nervous system, to expand your emotional capacity, and to learn how to hold greater blessings without self-sabotage. Think of it like a river. If the river opens before the banks are strong, it will flood and destroy. But when the channel is prepared, the flow becomes life-giving. You are the riverbed right now. The current is building. On a more physical level, Leo energy is directly linked to the heart and the adrenal system, the energetic centers of courage, vitality, and life force. During these times of waiting, your adrenals can take a toll from worry, fear, and survival stress. Supporting your body with nourishing foods like leafy greens, sea minerals, and root vegetables can restore your foundation. Pair that with gentle practices like sunrise breathing or solar plexus meditations, and you begin to clear space not just in the mind, but in the body for new opportunities to land. As part of your daily practice, speak to yourself like someone who is not being blocked, but being built. Say it, I'm not being denied, I am being readied for greatness. Let that affirmation become more than words. Let it shape the way you carry yourself. The way you walk into rooms. The way you trust your timing. Because even if the evidence hasn't arrived, the energy already has. What you've been longing for is circling your field. And when it lands, you'll realize it didn't come too late, it came exactly when you could carry it without losing yourself in the weight of it. There's a quiet law of rhythm that governs all things. Expansion follows contraction. Clarity follows confusion. Harvest follows stillness. Your soul knows this. It signed up for this unfolding. So rather than resist the waiting, allow it to do its sacred work. This isn't a delay. It's a divine pause space between breath and breakthrough, asking only that you trust long enough for the treasure to fully arrive, and be fully yours. There comes a moment in every soul's evolution where the question is no longer, what can I gain? But rather, what can I build that will last beyond me? For you, Leo, that moment is now. You have crossed a threshold, not just in fortune or circumstance, but in identity. You are no longer the dreamer waiting to be chosen, you are now the one who chooses where the dream flows. The wealth that is coming into your life is not random, and it's not just for comfort. It's for construction. It is here to create ripple effects beyond what you can see, and you have been appointed to steward it wisely. This shift is subtle but powerful. Until now, you may have prayed for provision, waited for doors to open, hoped for the moment when abundance would finally meet you with open arms. And now that it has, the energy shifts. You're not simply meant to receive, you're meant to channel, to distribute, to architect systems, opportunities, and healing through the tangible resources in your hands. Like a living bank of soul currency, you hold the capacity to transform generational narratives, simply by changing what flows through you. In tarot, the King of Pentacles is the archetype of material mastery, not a hoarder, but a builder. He is grounded, strategic, and generous. He understands that wealth, to be sustainable, must have structure. To be meaningful, it must serve. This card reflects your new role as the foundation setter of your lineage. You are not here to repair what was broken before you. You are here to construct what has never existed. Your role is no longer reactivates visionary. And what you build now, in wisdom and clarity, will serve as the stronghold your descendants lean on for years to come. Think of the image of a throne not as a symbol of ego, but of responsibility. You are seated in a position of influence now, and that influence is spiritual as well as material. You may find yourself drawn to creating scholarships, supporting someone's health journey, launching initiatives that offer freedom where there was once restriction. These are not small acts. These are the fruits of internal wealth made visible. The true gold is not what you store, it's what you circulate with discernment and love. According to color symbolism and energetic vibration, gold represents illumination, inner richness, and a mature form of solar power aligned deeply with Leo's essence. Emerald green, in contrast, signals cellular healing, renewal, and grounded compassion. These two colors when working together mirror your current role, shining from within while restoring everything around you. You are no longer the seeker of light. You are the source. And through your discernment, others will begin to believe that abundance is not a myth, it's a model. The law of attraction teaches us that energy expands where it is honored. When you hold tightly to what you have, you signal fear. When you let it move through you with intention, you declare trust. And trust is the magnet that calls in more. You didn't come here to clutch your success. You came to multiply it for your family, your community, and even for those you may never meet. And as you step into this level of embodiment, understand this: the true measure of your wealth is no longer how much you hold. It's how deeply what you hold has the power to change lives. You are no longer here to prove your worth. You are here to affirm the worth of those still waiting to see themselves in the light. Your legacy is not what you collect, it's what you create, fund, and nourish from the well of vision that now runs within you. You are the living vault of a new era, and you open not with keys, but with courage. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the light that's returning to your life. Not for the abundance that begins to show up in ways that feel miraculous, not for the favor that seems to find you without effort. What's unfolding now, Leo, is not something others have to understand. It is something only you are meant to embody. Because the truth is, your life is no longer about proving your worth to anyone, it's about accepting what has always been yours. You were chosen. Not by accident, not by luck, but by design. And the wealth, opportunities, and power flowing to you now are not coincidences, they are confirmations. It's time to let go of the need to defend your growth, to justify your rise, or to water down your joy so others feel comfortable. You are not responsible for how others interpret your breakthrough. You are responsible for how you carry it. You were not called to convince anyone. You were called to lead by example, by energy, and by quiet confidence. You are no longer the seeker. You are the answer. And the more you stand in that truth, the more the world around you will shift to match it. From today forward, walk as the living evidence that divine timing is real, that healing is real, that wealth is not only possible, it's personal. You don't need to chase blessings. You are the embodiment of a blessing. So ask yourself now, not, will it happen, but, how will I prepare myself to hold it when it does? What will you do differently, knowing that the vault has already been unlocked? How will you think, act, and speak now that you understand you're not waiting for abundance, you're stepping into alignment with it. And if something inside you knows this message wasn't random, if you felt a stirring or a remembering as you listened, then I invite you to make that connection visible. Take a moment to write in the comments, "I am the heaven-appointed distributor." Speak it into existence. Affirm what your soul already knows. And then, if you feel guided, share this video with someone else who might need the reminder that their delay is not their denial. Because sometimes, just one truth heard at the right time can rewrite an entire legacy. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for trusting the journey that led you to this moment. Every like, every comment, every subscription helps us grow this space, helps us bring more of these messages to those who are ready to rise. And if no one has told you today, let me be the first to say, I see you. I believe in your light. I honor your process. This is eternal mindfulness, and this is the beginning of your new season. May it be the brightest chapter yet. May you move through it not with fear, but with boldness. You are the Leo with the crown. And the universe? It's already walking beside you.